Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up.
Yeah, we got an intro.
Okay.
We have an intro.
We are getting more legit every day.
300,000 people talked about USPS. Okay, no, that's on one post. Okay, tell them the stats, Mama.
Our last episode was USPS, which you could argue would be the most boring topic of all time, but it's current, it's feisty, it's on the crosshairs of American change, and we talked about it. And TikTok is on fire. Literally no other platform cares. Like, there's just something about TikTok that people on the platform are just like consuming everything and all fired up. Nowhere else on any other channel does the content that we posted are people like particularly interested anymore.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think that people are engaging on TikTok way more than other platforms? Or are they like what?
I do have a hypothesis about this.
I gotta know.
So on Facebook, we have a community of people that probably know us personally or already feel kind of deeply about us, even if they don't know us personally. And then there's Instagram, which is like the happy kumbaya place. I actually think if people are getting fired up, Instagram is like suppressing that content. Like, I don't think they want to flame negativity. That was kind of how Instagram.
Interesting strategy, Mr. Zuckerberg.
So they operate.
What's his name? Zuckerberg?
Yeah, but
Matt?
in the past, I don't know if this is current.
Mark.
I don't know if this is current, but in the past, when they acquired Instagram, they were very intentional to keep it pretty separate. So there's like a CEO of Instagram who is really like a business president, and he is sort of like the advocate for the platform. I don't know how that works today, but this was probably 5 years ago when I heard an interview of how their structure was set up. So then on
TikTok's meant to riot. We riot on TikTok.
And the nature of TikTok. So like on Facebook, you make like personal connections are mutual connections. You have to agree to become friends, right? Instagram is not so much like that, but it's still this sort of community-esque environment. TikTok is like, I don't know how I got here, but you know, people always say like, I'm on Book Talk or I'm on like this side of the algorithm. You're just swiping without any regard as to like what you're being served up or like how you got there. And you don't necessarily see content of people that you follow more than you do.
Can I start this up a little bit?
Yeah.
I put in very specific SEO keywords to TikTok. I do put really specific things into TikTok.
Me too. I'm disappointed with what I get too, by the way, usually in their search. I think their search sucks. Okay. One time I did search how to do makeup when you're 30. I can't believe it.
At Jenny Moon Smith. Have Jessica on your TikTok. You got 1 million followers and get to go live all the time while all the pervs are in the comments when you're just trying to do your makeup or like do her Christmas bulbs.
But also, I'm really annoyed when I see any of these like makeup or hair things, and there's 25 steps. I have got a 2-year-old who wants to be held. I have got a 4-year-old who wants milk. I have got a husband taking a shower, all while I'm trying to get dressed and ready. I don't have like 4 layers of foundation.
Why are you trying to make me itch this time in the day?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So that's my point, is like I was trying to get like practical tutorials.
I feel that in my soul.
I was not delivered what I had hoped. So anyways, that's why I look the way that I look. Hopefully the lighting is good.
This is our best lighting. Dark. I'll never forget when Reeve was a baby and he asked Mike's mom, Grandma, why you wear those wrinkles? And I thought that was so funny.
And now how do you feel?
Fuck you, kid. Because you were born, you motherfucker, and your dad was born, and then he married your skank mom. Your skank mom had you. And now I'm out here living next to you. And South 7 Mile taking care of my grandkids after I already raised 4 kids.
And dare you to talk about my painting on my wrinkles.
Grandma, why you wear those wrinkles?
That's so funny.
Kids can say whatever the fuck they want because that shit's funny.
I know. It is really cute.
And she thought it was funny because it was her grandson, and she was like, oh, isn't that cute? And she told everybody. Shout out to Grandma Amy.
So Peyton was standing next to one of our favorite teachers and said that there was an aunt that came in to pick up a friend in the room, and Peyton looked up and said, "You have bad teeth."
To who?
To the aunt.
Desmond did that once.
The teacher was like, I don't know what to do. And so she kind of just shook her head down at Peyton and didn't react and then pretended it didn't happen.
Hey, Tay Smith, if you're listening to when this goes live, put in some of the comments like Desmond's top 3 because they're not good. I mean, it's not good. Like
the video she posted.
If he wasn't the 7th poor the oldest children, like Bray and Lou would have gotten absolutely beat for that. And we're like, oh, Desmond's so funny. He just insulted someone. And he's totally right. Fuck you. Now we get an absolute kick out of it because we let the little kids say out loud what we're thinking.
Yes, we did do a studio upgrade. Tell me your honest thoughts.
I think it's going to look really fucking sweet on camera. I'm really pumped.
Is it what you wanted?
Nope. Not at all. But I really love it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm pumped.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wasn't sure. And then when I looked at how cute you looked with it on camera, it's like almost perfection. Like your dark hair with like the back thing, like it's a vibe.
Okay.
I want to look one more time while I'm here. So I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was so good.
It was my 30-year-old makeup. Sometimes when I realize I'm 35, I'm like, wow, I thought I was still 30.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm 29 and a half, bitch.
Yeah, so we're okay. Shout out Bill's Custom Fab.
Shout out Bill's Custom Fab. Where's Bill's Custom Fab?
Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Shout out Mount Pleasant. Fire up chips.
Fire up chips. You know what? Let's get those college kids listening.
Yeah, what are you doing?
College kids.
So CMU has like a broadcasting program. They have like, I was actually thinking about that for my Lou because it doesn't matter, but like I feel like that would be a first good 4-year school for him. Mm-hmm. Live on your own. It seems like it's far away, not far away, but it actually is if you're actually living it.
Yeah.
Right? How often do you see the people who live 45 minutes to an hour away from you?
You have to make an intentional choice. Like to me, I think 45 minutes is just the same as 5 hours, honestly.
That's what I mean. So anyways, if he's an hour away, 45 minutes away, anyway, CMU, broadcasting, shout out. Like, I think you have a good program, your marketing, even your undergrad medical, a lot of things. Anyway, Mount P, Custom Fab, hooking our fucking sign up. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're back after 2 weeks. We took a week hiatus. Mm-hmm. What have you been up to?
I just twitched.
I know.
Hasn't twitched in a while either, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. I think under extreme, I'm really bad in like living a happy life because I'm always afraid the ball's going to drop. I actually really love my life.
So when it is happy, you think something bad's going to happen. That's and when something bad really happens, you're like, kind of told you fucking so. My eye's not twitching anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's twitching now. So 11 days ago, we were in this studio. And we were like, we planned a day, like a good afternoon. Mm-hmm. And I got a call that I lost one of my buddies. We canceled our day. Mikey came and picked me up, picked Mama up, kind of stared at the wall for a couple days, like told my work, told my boss, talked to like our mutual friends. And then I went to work to meet other work people to, kumbaya and
commiserate the
talk to other people who appreciated that human in their soul for, and I am on my way down to meet my buddies, and I get a call that my one of my very best buddies from high school and up until today and for eternity was one of my best friends, that she died in a car accident. So I'll just call that out because that was in the paper, so might as well. Like, it's fine. I only worry about which is her gorgeous, perfect, wonderful daughter. So that was with like, one was the 16th of February and one was the 18th. So we took a week off. And I've learned a couple of things. Number one, when you're sad, Papa brings you government cheese. Some people bring flowers like Jessica.
Tell me more.
They're gorgeous. Some people send flowers, Facebook messages, notes, thumbs up, hearts.
I was going to give... Hold
My
on.
dad...
I was going to bring you Fireball.
You
but
could bring me flowers So flowers, I love flowers.
I was going to bring you Fireball, but I didn't know if we were ready for it. And I knew when we were ready, we would be ready. So...
Yeah, I'm ready, I guess.
Your dad brought you government cheese.
Yeah. He bought me government cheese from his neighbor at our lake... Or his lake house, not ours, it's my dad's. But whatever, he's going to croak someday like everybody else, and it'll be mine.
And there we go.
Shout out to Papa.
There we go.
Way to work your ass off, Dad. So he brought me government cheese, which is basically like Velveeta off-brand. Or probably Velveeta private label.
We totally eat Velveeta, by the way.
I was like, yeah, I'll put that in the fucking crock pot. My girlfriends from high school are coming over. We'll eat some fucking government cheese. We'll eat some queso.
You're from the creek.
Bitches. You know. We know. Give me that shit. Give me some Rotellis.
When people rave about my mac and cheese, it's made with Velveeta.
Yeah, get out of here.
Actually, I thought that's how you make
absolutely eating dye and noodles at the same time.
I thought that's what homemade macaroni and cheese was boiling macaroni and putting Velveeta and some milk in there. I'm not kidding, until like a year ago.
Is the headphones pushing on my eyes again?
No, you look good. I would tell you, I promise. All right, what else did you get?
Okay.
What else did you get to soothe your grievances?
I've done a lot of things.
Not grievances. Those are like, is that the same word, grievance? Because you're grieving?
That's why I don't like that. Whole word means something different to me than it used to. You know what I think what's really interesting about when people leave your life is like, you know, you lose grandparent. Like when someone there is a different process is what I'm understanding. When you lose someone that you loved with your whole heart and soul that was old and died for the natural process of life, and all of their people are gone. Because I can imagine, like, when you have people die that you actually truly love in your whole heart and soul and like they're a part of your life, it's like a chip of you like sort of chips away. Yeah. So by the time you're 85, 90, even your children could have chipped away. Yeah. You know what I mean? From your soul. And you know, and so like, it's just not as sad or tragic, or maybe it is. And you know that they're okay. They're like, okay.
When you're 80 or 90, you know, like they're the ones taking care of you at that point. Like, you know, they're going to be fine.
You know, when you're fucking living your best life on a Tuesday and, you know, 12 hours later, you're no longer on this earth. It's like.
It was really, really jarring.
By traumatic circumstances drawn. So anyway, my dad brought me government cheese from the neighbor at the lake house for his condolences. Which is fucking hysterical. Also, I did go skiing. I did drink a fuck ton of Fireball. I hurt my meniscus to the point where I woke up the morning. This is before all the this is when I was living my best.
I thought that you were better at skiing when you drink Fireball.
Yeah, I got back out there. I got back on the horse. I actually wrote it down in my phone and wanted to bring. I read two things. One, I mean, at the end of the day, you're unsure about oneself. The second thing, and I'm going to share it with my kids, I wrote it down and I put it on my work computer. The other thing is, it was like, it's not I have anxiety. That's sort of like I have an illness or a sickness.
And it's not I am anxiety because it's not a part of you.
Feelings come and go, and that's one thing I got learned when I went to the partial. So I like debated bringing up the partial, but like I flat out went to a partial psychiatric program. Like we joke about it, but we might as well like peel off the Band-Aid.
Okay.
This is how I got to the partial.
Okay.
My primary care physician has.
Do we need to explain really what a partial is? I guess. Like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. How would you explain a partial?
What's the institutional term?
Like, you have to go to, like.
You went to therapy for 8 hours a day.
For 2 weeks straight. Okay. I was under like strict regimen. The only thing was I got to go home at night, but I had like a whole shit I had to follow. I didn't get told I had to go. My primary care physician suggested it. Mm-hmm. And I felt that unsure of how I would get out of how I felt. Like I was desperate.
Yeah, that uncertainty.
It was desperate.
Of one's future.
Of oneself.
Of oneself, yeah.
Correct.
Of oneself.
So I went up to the fucking partial. And I met the most fabulous people from all walks of life.
Of course
there.
you did, Heather. You know what? That's the thing is that no matter what experience you will ever go through, is you are always going to meet the most fabulous people, because that is also your outlook on life. That is there's many things that I absolutely love about you, but that's the thing that could like almost bring me to tears, is that you just find the most fabulous people in every endeavor.
They were so good. So I went up to the fucking partial and I joke like I couldn't even get committed to the full program where you got fucking medicated, like where you get some drugs.
And like maybe get to take a nap.
I had to go home. And make dinner and do the fucking things
and laundry.
And I was pissed about that. You know? My sister-in-law and I joke about that. Give me a good outpatient surgery. Give me a wisdom tooth, a colonoscopy. Just give me some fucking morphine and get rid of a cyst. I had to go home and like function. So here's what I've learned.
Yeah.
I have lived in this world of thinking I was going to die like super early and like be taken away from this earth. Mm-hmm. I think in like the last 11 days, I perhaps have... I don't feel that way anymore.
And that was that, so you're...
A burden. It was horrible.
Of course. I think I don't remember your anxiety of death so prevalent 6 years ago. Perhaps it increased over time. Was that a factor in earlier this year in going to the partial and having like that? Mm-hmm. That's a factor. So then you learned how to manage it. Mm-hmm. And now after
ish. I'm learning. I think learning's the right word. Yeah.
You learned tools to manage it.
I have capabilities now.
Yeah. And then you practice.
I practice every day.
I know. I'm very proud of you.
Can you believe I'm here?
From 3 months ago, even.
Yeah.
6 months ago, really. Notable, like clear ownership, growth, flourishing that I can observe in you. I can certainly say. But we haven't seen each other in 11 days.
That's a long time for us.
That's a huge long time for us lately. I'm very sorry that you had to go through so much tragedy. 11 days ago, you went from like life anxiety of like life or death, and you're in an equilibrium that even the partial couldn't cure you of.
I don't mind it. This week in Midland County, this month, 11 people in Midland County alone committed suicide in the last X months. It's an epidemic. Like, when I say an epidemic, it's like we should be as scared of that statistic as we were COVID.
I agree.
No, just call 988.
I was just gonna say we're gonna talk about Comfrt today, which is a brand that is somewhat born out of the spirit of mental health, mental awareness. They support many mental health organizations, and if anybody here is struggling, that's listening to us, if anybody who knows someone has seen signs of struggle, call 988. It is a hotline that can help.
Stirred up. Emotions are stirred up. Life is stirred up. All the things are stirred up. So even the people who look like they have it the most fucking together, probably the people who don't. Everyone has ebbs and flows in life. I've seen a million different factual and unfactual things about how one point in life you're up here and one you're down here.
100%.
But I think like the point of life is like people and connection and lessons. And I know that sounds fucking corny and weird, but I do believe that.
I do too.
And so like, you know.
Which is why I'm glad we took the break. We took a week.
We took a fucking break.
We did. My week this week has been like largely focused on getting caught up with Peaky Blinders and watching Peaky Blinders. Have you ever watched that?
My sister-in-law, Tay, loves that.
We love it.
Where's the vanilla? Got it.
We love it. But it got me thinking, there's a very strong, she's an aunt to the main character, but like she's sort of a matriarch, baller badass. Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy? It has a lot of like...
Yes, Gemma.
In Gemma. So
I can't believe I didn't think about Gemma, but I think she was kind of a selfish cunt too.
So is Polly. But I mean, like, still it's a story. I don't know. Totally. I mean, they're in survival mode. You kind of got to be selfish cunts too. So that was part of my game I wanted to play with you. Because I kind of, like, as much as I hate Polly sometimes, I'm like, God, she's a bad bitch. And I thought the same thing about Gemma. Like, I kind of wanted to cut your throat sometimes. But also you're a bad bitch. You got to give some respect. My game, kind of marry, fuck, kill. But you have to pick who you are between two. Or, like, how you resonate between two TV moms.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a couple TV moms. And you're going to tell me, like, who you resonate more of.
Got it.
All right. So I said Gemma Teller and or Polly from Peaky Blinders. You didn't watch Peaky Blinders, but you did Son's Son. So you know Gemma. Okay. So are you Gemma Teller or are you the mom from Weeds?
Yes. Yeah.
They're aligned. I put them in different groups though, because one's like out there surviving.
They're both criminals.
Both criminals, but one for reasons that she was like sort of born into in shows, Gemma, and the other was like, I live in suburbia and I need to make some fucking money and I'm gonna figure it out.
Both.
Okay, mom from Home Alone or what's her name from Schitt's Creek? Moya.
Oh,
same lady, different character.
Hold on. Here's the difference between. Here's the cunty bougie bitch in me. I will never forget my fucking kid at the airport. It's either someone else is going to be watching them, or I'm going to have a grandparent or an aunt and uncle or
How do
somebody.
You forget everything? How could you not forget a kid? How come you won't forget a kid?
I always tell Mike Smith that. Shut the fuck up. I haven't lost our children yet.
You don't have your cell phone here. We didn't even know you didn't have your cell phone until we were here looking for it everywhere here. And then I thank God you share your location with me.
That I do. I'm not forgetting my kids. I'm not. Absolutely fucking not. That's the one part of me that keeps me alive. It's like, at least I know I'm really good with kids. I won't lose my nieces and nephews either. Here's the deal, though. I'm probably not going to be the one to watch all 9 of them. That's a lot.
Stifler's mom.
Absolutely fucking not. I got a friend who likes...
Or Mrs. Gump. Forrest Gump's mom. Forrest, I love you so much.
Listen, I listened to that broad upstairs.
Having sex with her teacher so he could go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I'm kidding. I don't even like the people that I love to touch my face. Yes. Both.
Wait, what? You're going to say no to both? You have to pick one.
I want to pick both.
Oh, you're going to pick both? Stifler's mom and...
Stifler's mom was hot and Forrest Gump's mom was wise.
Okay. She was wise and caring and loving.
Fabulous.
Stifler's mom, fucking funny and hot. And Jennifer Coolidge is a rock and roll bitch.
Jennifer Coolidge. If you...
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Okay. So the mom on Friday Night Lights, I forgot, like...
The movie or the...
I like the show, but the movie, they are one and the same, really. Like
Connie, the redhead?
Yeah, Connie. Or Daenerys Targaryen.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah, fucking right. Okay. That's okay.
Fuck yeah.
Do you have any more?
Queen of Dragons, bitch.
So Comfrt.
Shout out to Comfrt, maybe.
Well, I mean, I hope so. So
we hope so. We're trying.
We made merch via Comfrt.
This is not my Comfrt merch.
Okay.
Daddy,
but we match.
Daddy forgot to do my laundry.
You knew of Comfrt. I had never heard of Comfrt.
I didn't know of Comfrt.
Well, you made our merch. How did you come? Tell me like your founding story with like how did you discover Comfrt?
Hysterical. This is who's ever. Hey, listen, the CEO of Comfrt. Whoever is doing your SEO and your SEM, pay them more and more.
So what did you
make
Google?
them part of your leadership team? I Googled super soft, comfy, airplane thick hoodie.
Wow. So that's
or the effect.
That's exactly their like jam. Not just super soft and comfy. That was where they started, but like they discovered that people wanted to travel.
If you ever flown out of NBS on a jet/helicopter in the middle of February at 4:45 in the morning and froze your tits off, you know what I'm talking about.
I just think it's so funny that you combined all of their things in one search.
I am a long tail SEO human. I think SEM, actually, the more I think about it,
yeah.
if you know your audience, you're going to win by content.
Yeah. Well, so that's exactly what he did. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Comfrt. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about their founding story, and then we'll talk about how they grew to be. Comfrt really started as like a sweatshirt.
Comfort spelled what?
Comfort without the last O, so COMFRT. Mm-hmm. One of the big issues is that because they've had such early quick growth is that they have fraud. Like, people are doing copycats and they're really good at the copycats because the Comfrt brand is sort of like the simple, sort of soft, and Comfort's like a simple sans serif logo. Like, it's not a really sophisticated brand. People are copying. The Comfrt, like, visual identity is something that,
the visual.
Yeah, is something that people can easily replicate and cheat people off.
But the product.
And do SEM. Yeah, so the part of the, and I'll get into it, but like there's fraud. There's people that think that they're buying Comfrt and they're not. Okay. All right, so here's what this is. So Comfrt really started almost exclusively as sweatshirts. Is a weighted sweatshirt, yes. They have gone extended very quickly into other like leisure wear, and you can get loads of other types of like boxers and t-shirts and other things. But like their bread and butter is the sweatshirt.
Listen, Comfrt, stick to what you're good at. From a product perspective, you're a product manager. I'm not a product manager. You're a product manager, both a physical and a digital product manager. Mm-hmm. We bought Bennett a camel Comfrt sweatshirt.
Oh, how did that come out?
It comes out and it feels gross. He doesn't like it. It's like a silky Under Armour outside, and he hates it. Like, you can tell they can't source whatever this is.
So let's come back to...
They can't source it because they're sending us bullshit stuff.
Let's come back to their challenges, because I want to tell you how
That's why we're going to buy wholesale from Red. So that was my neck. I planned that for you later.
Okay. Let me tell you how he got here, so that way we can discuss like why they might have those inventory and supply chain challenges. Hudson Leo Grand, I think is how he says his last name, is the founder. Hudson, I'll just refer to him as Hudson from here on out. It was only created in 2022, so it's a very new brand. It's about $160 million brand, and the only reason we know that is not like he talks a lot. He doesn't do like a whole lot of interviews and podcasts, but he has mentioned in a recent interview that's about what they'll be. And then I was kind of tracking that back against some other like market assessment things that have reported on it. He's in a Forbes 30 under 30, so he's getting some like visibility in his reputation, and people are starting to talk about him a little bit. But it's a really, from a, I want to say like a street perspective or like a business analyst perspective, it's still, I think, underrated. Like, people aren't really talking about him. There's not news about him or his brand unless he tries to make that news. And
what's his background? Do we know? Where's he from?
Let me tell you. Yeah. The company makes this minimalist, mental health focused, weighted, blanket feeling sweatshirt. Like, that's the bread and butter. Sales have been driven primarily from like their social reach, social influencer strategy. It dates back to, so this is where we're getting into a little bit of the founder's story, how he launched a previous company. Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
He did like a teeth whitening company. He has success there, and then he like...
Do you know what the name of the teeth?
Purely Bright or Purely White. I don't know. I can look it up.
Good enough. Start it up.
It's Purely something. And it's interesting. So currently today, Comfrt is TikTok's fastest growing apparel brand worldwide. It's ranked number 1 on TikTok shop for US fashion and apparel. So if you're on TikTok, you absolutely know what Comfrt is. If you're on any of the like social platforms where influencers are influencing, Comfrt is what they're pushing.
So again, when did we get these? On God, like when did we? It took a minute.
You bought these at the end of the summer, where I should grab the screenshot.
So cheap.
Where their
$50 a piece
growth,
yeah,
was like going to the moon, because I did.
Always.
Yeah, you're right before it became like an actual real deal.
Somebody who's actually got an investment, shout out to me, because I know what's happening. I just need you to tell me what's happening.
What you're looking for, and you can tell the
3 months sooner.
Hudson's only 28 years old today. This is his second successful company. He's fully bootstrapped Comfrt from his previous from his previous like teeth whitening brand. He's living financially full on the teeth whitening, purely bright, purely white. I don't remember what it is. I kind of feel bad. I should know. And everything that comes in from the $160 million Comfrt brand, he's putting back into the company and like
peer investment, mofos. Genius. 28. Yes.
Genius, but I think because supply chain is hard.
Very hard.
So Hudson, he's 28. Mm-hmm. He's from New York. His mom's a realtor. I don't think he has any, he said he was homeless when he was 16, which is one of the sources of his mental health. He was estranged from his father for 5 years. They've recently reconnected. I'm telling you, we're like low-key stalker, but he did say these things on a public interview. His
stalker?
I do feel a little. So some of the things.
What about $600 worth of gear? You're welcome.
Okay. One of the things.
Good for you, and you're welcome.
So there's not a lot of company history. This company's only like basically 3 years old. It becomes founder history, and he. Okay, so I don't think he has any college background. He has some videos on YouTube. They're not his, but they're his name, where he was a salesman at an auto dealership. His mom is a realtor, and he does have a realtor profile on Zillow that doesn't look at all up to date. When he was 23 years old in his mom's basement, he started the teeth whitening brand I honestly think without any idea that he was doing. He was just like, we're going to order some charcoal, and we're going to, people are putting charcoal on their teeth to whiten their teeth, and we're going to do that too.
I have a couple of those little gremlins living in my house. I'm like, we're doing what?
We're doing what? So he did that.
How old?
23. Wow. For about 2 or 3 years, there was almost no success there. He's talked about how Facebook advertising, he was trying to do any sort of paid advertising. He says it just fails. It's really bad. It really sucks.
SEO long tail. I don't know what he does, but he got me there.
He didn't know any. So he will even say it in some of his interviews. He knew nothing about search engine optimization. He knew nothing about search engine marketing. He
had a product.
He was a 23-year-old in his mom's basement who's like, I see people trying to whiten their teeth. Why don't I figure that out too? He was on Snapchat. He saw people starting to organically pop off, where they had 100 million people who were following their stories, but they didn't have an influencer platform. They didn't have brand deals. It was really immature stages of branding for Snapchat as a channel, but people on Instagram and Facebook had truly already taken over with big deals, and the paid was just not working on those platforms that he could see for his teeth whitening business. So he reached out to some of these creators. They liked his product, and he got basically his own brand deal for them. He basically created the brand deal, but in a way that was sort of the first of its kind for brand deals on Snapchat. He was his secret sauce, and this still is true for how the Comfrt brand works, is not to go after big celebrities, not to find people who are already established and know what they're doing. What they do is find someone who has a natural sense of success, where they're willing to be in their natural in front of the camera. They know what they're doing. They have the time and commitment that they have in investing in content, but they can be better. So now their whole program is to find these sort of niche people who are not multi-million influencers of followers, but are hundreds of thousands. These truly niche, I want to say niche market.
Indie. In beauty care, we call them indie.
Basically, right? You are...
The fragment is driving the market.
Yes. And then now, with some success that they've had, they know what a good influencer content is. They especially what is for their
What
brand.
is good influencer content?
I don't know.
What's an influencer? Yes, you do.
I don't know what their...
Are we an influencer? Are we not? Are we a good influencer? Or are we not a good influencer?
So he has a different recipe. I think it depends. He doesn't really... So I think he's admittedly
That wasn't the question.
I know, but I'm trying to answer about how it works for Comfrt, because that's been their success, and I don't know that I could say I could have repeatable...
Think about you as an influencer. What makes a successful influencer?
I think it's a little bit of...
I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking.
So I think if I'm really thinking about me, but I don't think this is true for Comfrt. If I'm really thinking about me and what we do, it is being a little bit provocative and a little bit vulnerable. And vulnerability can also mean like being honest about like...
We like Fireball. Sorry.
Well, we're being our
5:30 on a Thursday after we work our dicks off as
yes,
moms and professionals and friends and
but not everybody else is putting themselves out there for their calm down time is not public. Our calm down time we're putting out for the world to see while we talk about this stuff. I don't know, we like it. We just think we're having a fucking good time. His influencer strategy though is have a quick hook.
It's a hook. It's all a hook.
It's a hook and then a cover, but he has a 3-stage thing, and I didn't even really care that much about it, and I still don't.
Makeshift style.
Yeah, but he says people don't need time; they just need information. So he doesn't have like how we talk about the funnel, and we consider the funnel time, and I think that is something as a matter of what we've been trained from the products that we've had to. Well, the product that we've had to convert. He's trying to convert people in a channel like TikTok or Snapchat where you have 3-second time frame. You and I have had to convert.
What do you mean? Hold on, time out.
When you and I think about the funnel, we're trying to convert products. I'm just going to use our shared history, not current history, of construction products, where there's a 3-month to 6, 12, 18-month time frame where people are in a decision-making period where a lot of decision makers have to go through their journey as to why they're going to specify a product and all of these other things. So we have a really deep understanding of a product journey. Mm-hmm. And I still think what his statement is true. It's not time, it's information. You don't think so?
No.
He says people don't need
Can I tell you what makes us interesting? They do.
He says they don't. About t-shirts, sweatshirts, you didn't need time. You just needed information when you bought these sweatshirts. How much time did you take to make the decision about them?
What's the difference between time and information?
I think he's saying he's delivering exactly what you need to know to make your decision. His funnel decision making that we talk about, he's got one conversion rate that he's doing is like who's seen this and how many people converted, and his target is 3%. 3% of people who see it should convert to a purchase from viewing it in that moment. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
When they first introduced
his
Comfrt,
entire strategy is in one metric?
Yeah, he didn't talk very sophisticatedly about analytics.
What about brand or the why? Or what he's doing?
Okay, so the why, so when he launched the teeth whitening company, he worked with influencers, and that was
Can I tell you, I actually think you're a brand leader, but you haven't been a brand leader yet.
Thanks. I think I'm not fluffy enough to be a brand leader. Don't take that in a criticism.
You're not, unless you have a strong affinity for the brand. You can't be a brand leader for any brand just to learn something. You're going to learn it through
That's interesting.
Other things, but maybe in 10 years, you're going to if you...
Of our brand.
That's right.
That's what
I'm saying. I'm just happy to do whatever you tell me at this point. Shit.
But also, Heather, don't you know that I am happy to do whatever you tell me?
That's the problem.
I don't think it's a problem. We're killing it.
We're going to float.
Okay. All right. So listen, Linda. So the relevancy of the teeth whitening is only important in that he used the same influencers. When he started Comfrt, he was like, he just calls them his girls. He's a little Hugh Hefner, and his there were like a dozen or 24 or whatever the number is. Not a huge amount of people, I don't think. I think they were just
Vanna White people?
No, influencers who he used to sell teeth whitening stuff. For this group, my perception, the profile of an influencer is really wide. The people who influence me are moms and elders, and grandmas are starting to get in there. I'm fucking old, okay?
Grandmas.
I have a couple favorite TikTok grandmas.
I just watched one of my friends from high school put her legs behind her head on a swiveling bar stool.
I did see that picture. Okay, listen.
I didn't know.
So these are young. They truly are younger. He was 23 when he started. He's 28. He's in his 20s. He's living in Miami. He's from New York. Think of that as his network of what he thinks is attractive is what the profile of the girls that he's with. So they're all like, they all kind of look the same. They're cute and skinny and like to travel. Like, I don't know, they totally have this profile to me, but it's fine. It's not a judgment. It's just an observation.
No, I'm judging now. I'm pissed.
Why?
We're going to burn this shit. I got better prices with the same weight.
Okay, no, we have to talk all about it. Listen. Okay, so he said to these girls.
You're nothing
He does. He calls them girls. My girls. Or like the girls.
Get out of here,
girls.
Jessica. I'm not. I'm not.
So he reached out to the girls who said, oh my God, I love the sweatshirts. Yes, I agree. One of the girls, I think, was Gabby, is the co-founder that he worked with. She was an influencer for the teeth whitening company that he worked with to create the sweatshirts. I think from what I can tell, she has the stronger affinity to the solution of, like, there's a problem to solve with the anxiety situation. I need a sweatshirt. Like, you can have weighted blankets, but I need a sweatshirt, like a weighted sweatshirt that will serve that purpose. Part of the problem statement is that there wasn't really a sweatshirt on the market, a sweatshirt, something I could wear and walk around with. Like, for me, I have kids. I have young kids who are asking for shit. I have to get up. I'm not just sitting under an anxiety blanket all day like these 20-somethings who, like, don't have somebody to take care of.
So you're saying he solved the problem?
I think so. I do think that there was an unmet need. We were wearing sweatshirts as comfort and then putting a weighted blanket over top. And I think, like, they don't spell it out this way, but I think, like, if they had business school or, like,
so is he taking advantage of the mental, or is he a mental?
No, I think he had his own personal anxieties. She had certainly. Gabby was the influencer that he partnered with. I don't know, like, their ratio of ownership. He really is, like, kind of the outwardly founder, but they've been referred to as co-founders in interviews. So some of my questions I would have for him, I don't think he had, like, a college degree or business school. He's talked a little bit about some of his mentors, but I'm very curious as to how he makes his business decisions. Where does he get that education? Mm-hmm. How do you make a $160 million company in 2 years with, like, truly very little business experience? I think that's interesting. Some of the ways of growth for Comfrt. Obviously, he leveraged his influencer network within the Snapchat group that he used for launching that teeth whitening company. Here's an interesting fact I think you'll like. When he launched the sweatshirt company, when he launched Comfrt with the influencers, within a couple of days, within the first week, he definitely said, and I think it was within a couple of days. Within a couple of days, he knew that he had priced the item as a luxury item that people couldn't tangibly see luxury in. So first of all, it's about comfort. It's a sweatshirt. It's leisure, not necessarily luxury. And he was I don't know what the price point is. This would be a question that I would want to ask. I couldn't find any evidence because I do think they are overpriced.
Leisure versus luxury.
Well, today they're like still over $100 regularly priced, right? Like, I think if
you're gonna get a whole suit, like a whole fucking suit,
just a
$140.
It's $120 for a sweatshirt.
You can't have
some sweatshirts.
Listen, I'm anxiety.
Launch at a price point that I don't know what that price point was. I know their top end right now for a sweatshirt alone is $120. Whatever the price point was when they first launched was too much, that they were getting less than 1% conversion rate on something that had been previously successful for them with the same people that they were successful with.
$68 is the most I've paid.
So he said, like, what's the deal? What's up with this? Had to lower the price. So I do think
I can go to counseling for $120 an hour, or I can buy your sweatsuit. Convince me why your sweatsuit's going to make me feel more comfort than therapy. And for me, it's not my top being heavy and my bottom being loose. That's the problem with mental health people.
That it's, like, off balance?
We're off balance. I gotta have the whole suit.
I think he has the right interest in his heart, the way that I've heard him, but I don't think he has had the experiences or the mentorship to expose him to what a great leader could be. So But who does at 28? So I think that like there's something that maybe he'll have the opportunity to grow into, and if he has the right intentions at heart. I have a couple of things I want to give you. So that's like the brand, how it started, the founder, all of that. There's some open questions. Just kind of on that, I don't like. It's fine, but you get my perception. It's nothing that like wildly concerning. A couple of things that are unique to them. They literally use their lack of inventory as demand creation. So they have an inventory challenge because they are a startup. They don't really know. He's bootstrapping it. He doesn't have investors. He doesn't have his own infrastructure. I don't know where he's getting any of these from. None of that's made publicly available. There's actually posts that are like, how do we know this is okay? Is this sustainably sourced? You say it is, but there's zero evidence. There's zero certification. There's nothing to prove that where these are coming from and how they get to us and on our bodies is something that we should be okay with. So I think that that's something they need to look into. I don't think it's something that a startup needs to do in 1 even to 2 years.
What do you mean?
I think that that's an okay thing to say. I trust where I'm getting my stuff from. Like if I'm starting something up, it's not going to be my first thing that I'm going to do either. I'm going to know it, but I might not have the certification. I might not make it publicly transparent. I hope that I can make the decision. I hope that he's making the decision that wherever he's sourcing this from is something that's not harming humans and not harming the environment. Some of the problem is that they appear to sell more than what they can handle, or they have some inventory issues. I think this just comes with the territory of being like,
they'll break even to sell it to you though. Like I know that for a fact.
Do you think it's clever that he has a problem, which is an inventory management problem, and they're making it a limited edition exclusive thing? Like
clever as fuck.
Okay, all right, carry on. That's
perception is reality.
Yeah, that's all I needed. Carry on. Okay,
does not matter.
I'm here.
Doesn't matter.
All right, you have my attention. They have pre-order rates at around $35. It is $34 or $35 pre-order. I think this is a very Shein move of them to put pre-order sales. This is where they do go wrong, though, where in Shein's world, they do like a listing. They can turn it around a lot faster. What Comfort's struggling with is that they'll do a pre-order sale in June, and they'll tell you you're not going to get it until October, and then you don't get it until December, and then your order's wrong. Like, they're really fucking up.
What did I tell you? Why did we not get more merch?
Margin is what I'm wondering. So they still have to be making money on a pre-order. Their mid-range price range that they tend to, I think, sell the most at, but we have no idea what the numbers are, is about $65, and then some of their top end sweatshirts alone are $120. So if I were to assume that they were still going to make 20% margin on a $34 sweatshirt, wouldn't you say? You would never make anything less than 20%. Then they must be sourcing it for $27.20. That's what that number works out to be. It's $6.80 per sweatshirt on a pre-order sale. I don't think that's the largest of their revenue proportion. I think it's the $65 mark, which then if we were to make the same assumptions, it's going to probably work out to be about 60% margin is what they're making. And then any of their top end sales is going to be somewhere around like 80 to 100% margin.
So what month did you say that we got our sweatshirts in, like without the branding?
I would say, so they like popped off in August. I think we did September, October, because it wasn't even into
like
November.
$68 a piece. Like the suit alone, what we're wearing with branding was like, it's like a $170 suit. But the original price on the hoodie, it was, I paid our business paid $68. But their original prices were like $120.
So then they're working around 60% margins on those.
Wow. That's a lot of margin. That's
estimated. So some issues. Because their branding, I don't know if it's because of branding, but they are struggling with like scams and dupes. So people are claiming that they had purchased some Comfrt items and then
Bennett felt like that. He felt like his stuff was greasy.
Didn't didn't receive it. But but you ordered it from Comfrt. The return policy doesn't allow for like actual returns. It's just an exchange. Like you get like a brand credit. It's just like if you didn't like it, like, well.
Order from China. That's fine.
Okay. Pre-orders are a mess. I started to allude to that. Pre-orders are a mess. There's like basically entire Reddit forums on the pre-order situation. That's kind of my point of view on the stage of like life cycle that they're in. Here's the problem with like growing too much too quick is that you can't grow into it. So he can't handle his inventory issues. He can't handle his growth. He's bootstrapping it. He could consider to have investors or other partners that would have share of his company, equity into his company, even if like whatever, there's a lot of arrangements that he could produce that might alleviate these inventory and supply chain challenges. That's exclusively what it is. And I believe that it is because he's trying to do it all himself. He's trying to grow as fast as he can, but he doesn't have like the resources. Okay, so you're still gonna buy Comfrt?
I don't know, Mama.
Think so?
I think that's what we planned.
I think what Comfort's doing is fantastic for the stage of life that it's in. We've looked at brands that are hundreds of years, like 150 years old to 50 years old. They all went through that.
3 years old, barely.
We've done very few.
We're like, you have a slobbering toddler with Comfrt.
Exactly. That's where I'm at, is that they have the opportunity to make or break what their future is. And some of these brands that we've looked at have, actually all of the brands that we've looked at, they only got to where they would be because they were great for various reasons of their time. And I think Comfrt has a really good opportunity to absolutely be that. I truly do think Comfrt is making the right decisions and like doing all of the right things foundationally to its core. I just think it's early in their longevity, so
their life cycle.
Yes, in their life, 100%, in their product life cycle. You're right. So I reserve my right. Like, there's things that we don't know. I hope to have Hudson on the podcast so that we can clarify things like, where do you source your product? Do you use child labor? Do you even know where you source your product? Because some of the greats didn't. Nonetheless, like, let's talk about that. None of that's available about Comfrt or Comfrt leadership. So, like, I would really want to probe that, and I reserve the right to change my mind. However, I will clink to Comfrt today. Where are you at?
This moment.
At this moment, I'm going to clink. And I, like, absolutely want to continue to try Comfrt products. I know
if you make it like this, don't make it, like, oily. Like, if you're going to make it feel like we're going to...
Okay, so here's the only other thing I want to call out. There's conversation, there's chatter online that they're removing negative product reviews on their website. I don't know if it's true or not.
Jessica.
I'm just saying.
Jessica.
That's the only other criticism. So, like, hey, look, like,
if they built their whole business on social perception, then they're going to protect their whole business on social perception.
So let's do a little test.
All right, got you.
Do a review on the products that you ordered.
I love these.
I know. So do
Bennett sucks.
Listen. Okay,
costs the same amount as mine. No, $10 more.
So do a review.
It feels greasy. It feels like you wore Under Armour through the woods and didn't get a deer.
I want you to do your honest review on the camo, or like your son's honest review.
Bennett looks cool, but doesn't feel good.
Write that. And then do your honest review on your hoodie and see what happens. And then we'll report back.
Okay. I think we're going to clink.
I'm going to clink. And you're going to clink.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.